This
vehicle.
conference will now
Lot
be recorded.
electric vehicles
This
vehicle.
conference will now
Lot
be recorded.
Electric vehicles are digital vehicles. The digitization of vehicle development has been much easier by the introduction of electric vehicle. Technically, if you are talking about, we are having IoT, Internet of Things. Like you say, if I'm driving my car and I need to recharge my car, then what I will do, I will send a signal from my car to my charging station, and I will put an appointment that I will be reaching there within 40 minutes. So they will fix my appointment as soon as my car will be there. They will recharge my car and let it go. The whole idea is there are some sensors, some transducers which will be absolutely working. But the whole idea is, what if my car senses that what kind of charging is demanded? If charging is demanded, then there will be a message on my mobile through some internet, and at the same time there will be a pre-scheduling for the charging station. And you know future is the key. We are talking about the driverless car. And digitization of vehicle development has been easier by the introduction of electric vehicle, because we are having a battery which can back up a lot of sensors, lot of transducers at the same time. Now, basic concept of electric vehicle. Technically, you are talking about we are having three main components. First is the battery, second is the controller, and third is a motor. So, battery actually, you have to charge the battery. The controller will control the motor, and accordingly, the vehicle will move. This is a very important slide in which we are talking about this particular battery pack. Now, the AC grid will charge the battery charger. We will change from AC to DC using AC, battery charger. This is a common battery pack. As far as concerned about electric vehicle, we are having a battery pack, not a single battery. So the battery pack may be in a series or in a parallel combination, or maybe a unique combination. And at last, from this battery pack, we will again run the electric motor by using a motor controller, and this motor controller will convert from DC to AC. And now we are having a electric motor, and this electric motor, through differential arrangement, will control the wheels. Now, type of battery powered vehicles. I'm not very much into to discuss about all these sort of things, just a small claims. We are having different kind of battery powered electric vehicles, that is called electric cars, power electric scooters, electric cycles, motorcycles, cargo vehicles, campus vehicles, bus, trucks. In my society itself, we are having few cars. We are having old age people, and who need to go from one place to another place through the society. So we are having the campus vehicle, that is called the electric car. Now, depending upon the size, we are having different kind of vehicles. The Tata Nexon, which is a pioneer in electric vehicle these days, and they have launched their compact SUV. So, in all the electric vehicle, we are having a lithium-ion battery, and we'll be having a discussion about the lithium-ion battery. Now, it is having a 120 kilometer per hour top speed, and it takes only 18 seconds to reach 120 kilometer per hour, the top speed. It is having 245 Newton meter torque. Similarly, we are talking about the power electric scooters. We are having the motorcycles. We are having the electric cycles, uh, cargo vehicles, campus vehicles, as I mentioned earlier, and the electric bus. Electric trucks are also there. Now, just let me discuss about the functioning of an electric vehicle. See, this is the traction battery pack. Now, see, if you closely watch in petrol or diesel version, the petrol tank or the diesel tank is available at this particular point. But here, the traction battery pack is available in this particular location. Now, what happened? It is very heavy, and while you are talking about the IC engines are available in this particular region. Now, see, we are having a centered battery pack in the center of the this particular vehicle. So, and it is very heavy. So what actually it provides you the balance while you are driving the car. If you are having your uh, IC engine in this particular region. So what happens when you drive the car very very fast and you just put on the brakes? So what happened? Sometimes it skid and sometimes it can turn around. But while having the battery pack in the center, it gives a great equilibrium to the vehicle. Second is we are having this charger port which is used for charging the electric vehicle. Now we are having this transmission system which actually transmit. Now this is the onboard charger. Now onboard charger is one of the most important key these days, and a lot of students are working projects and lot of researchers are doing their research in this particular domain. I will be having some discussion with onboard charger also. Now these are battery auxiliary. Now we are having two kind of battery. First is called the traction battery pack, which is available in the center, which is actually why we call this electric vehicle. And this is a battery auxiliary, which actually support all the combinations of this onboard charger. Now we are having a thermal cooling whenever we charge, whenever we run an electric vehicle. We need to cool down the battery pack and we need to cool down the onboard charger. So we are having a thermal cooling. Now we are having the DC to DC converter. We are having a power electronic converter where actually a lot of electrical engineers are working these days. We are having a electric traction motor, so which actually transfer the torque uh, to the tires. So this is all about this electric vehicle. Now let me discuss about the few components. Battery. It is an electric drive vehicle. The battery provides electricity to the power vehicle accessories. Second is electric traction motor using power from the traction battery pack. This motor drives the vehicle's wheel. Some vehicles are using motor generator set that perform both the drive as well as the regeneration functions. In the market we are having different kind of motors which are to be used. For example, the DC series motor, the brushless DC motor, the permanent magnet synchronous motor, three-phase induction motor, as well as a switch reluctance motor. But these days the brushless DC motor or the BDCM is the pioneer which we are using. At the same time, it is permanent magnet synchronous motor which is also used for this particular function. The brushless DC motor, it is actually a similar to DC motor, but since it is not having the commutator, the brush arrangement, so it is called a brushless DC motor. The commutation is done electronically in this motor because of this BLDC motor. And these motors are absolutely maintenance free. BLDC motors have traction characteristics like high starting torque, high efficiency around 95 to 98%, and hence BLDC motors are suitable for high power density design approach. As far as concerned about uh, permanent magnet synchronous motor, they are equally important, and they were giving a nice nice competition to BLDC motor. And both of these things are available in the market. Most of the automotive manufacturer use PMSM motors for their hybrid and electric vehicle. For example, if you're talking about let me say Toyota Prius, Chevrolet Bolt EV, Ford Focus Electric, Zero motorcycle, Nissan Leaf, there are hell lot of manufacturers which are using
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Hello? Ankit, sir, you are not audible.
It got stuck up itself, sir.
Hello, Ankit, sir.
am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Ankit, sir.
Hello, Ankit sir, you are not again audible, sir. Hello? Hello? Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Sir,
Now, well,
he's arranging again.
Ah, yes, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
just give me a second.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir.
So we were having a discussion about the onboard charger. My personal interest with this onboard charger because it monitors battery characteristics such as voltage,
Sir,
current, the
sorry to
temperature.
disturb you, sir. Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
The PPT is not available, sir. Can you please check, sir?
Uh,
Presentation.
is this available now?
No, sir. No.
Is this available now?
No, sir. It's not visible, sir.
Okay, not a problem. No problem. Let me do the things manually. Wait. I think
Okay, sir.
something is going on.
Now we are able to see your screen. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is this available now?
Sir, it's available. Yes, sir. It's visible.
In normal online lectures happens. I'm extremely sorry for that. Uh,
No problem, sir.
No issue, sir. No problem.
so we were having a discussion about the electric vehicles. We were having the discussion about the electric components, and now, yeah, this is an onboard charger, which is actually, it is my personal interest because it monitors battery characteristics such as voltage, current, temperature, and state of charge while charging the pack. Basically, these days, while you are talking about the driverless car, this onboard charger is very important these days because now they are coming in 13-pin charger or 19-pin charger or 26-pin charger, and recently the Tesla has launched a 46-pin charger. Now, what is the meaning of pin? The every pin is every pin communicate through some sensor. For example, you are talking about that you need to monitor the voltage, so you need a sensor. Similarly, you would need to monitor the current. You need a sensor. You need to monitor the temperature. You need a charger. You need a sensor. So the whole idea is now the Tesla has come up with a 46-pin onboard charger. So you can actually control as well as monitor the 46 state of different things, which is quite good. Uh, this transmission, traction, battery pack, and the thermal system cooling we have already discussed. Now, yeah, electric vehicle classification and the electrification level. Basically, we are talking about the chargers now, and usually electric vehicle chargers are classified into three main parts. Basically, you are talking about that how long a charger will take to charge the vehicle. So basically, we are having the level 1, level 2, or level 3 type charger, and usually in government notification, it is called the type 1, type 2, and the type 3 charger. So the type 1 and type 2 are for AC charging, and the type 3 is the for the DC fast charging. Let me discuss about the level 1 charging or the type 1 charging. It is a AC charger inbuilt with the vehicle, and it is available with each and every vehicle you are talking about. It is mandatory with every vehicle. It is having a plugged in 15 ampere circuit only. This 15 ampere circuit is available in your home also. So it is available anywhere or everywhere. And while you are talking about electric cart, or you are talking about uh, e-rickshaws, so a lot of e-rickshaw have been sold, and all the e-rickshaws having these kind of 15 ampere circuit. It takes a good deal of time to charge, depending upon manufacturer to manufacturer, but at least it take 8 hours to charge for any kind of a vehicle. And it is universal for all electric vehicle. These days you are talking about the number of mobile phones, and each and every mobile phone is having the lithium ion battery. But what about the charger? In these days, 90% chargers are working in the very same fashion. But just think about 5 to 10 years back, while the different mobile phones were having the different chargers. Now we are having the universal chargers also available in the very same fashion right now. If you're talking about the level 1 charging, we are having the universal charger, and level 3 charger is still a lot of things to be done to uniformly distribute this particular segment. Now this is a level 2 charger. In a broad spectrum, if you're talking about whenever you say below 15 kilowatt hour, it is a level 2 charger. Level 2 charger requires specialized station or machine which provide power at 240 volt, 1 kilowatt to 15 kilowatt hour, depending upon the vehicle. Level 2 chargers can be installed anywhere in India. The government has made it a D-license process. Now, frankly speaking, guys, whenever you start any business, you need to have a license. But while you're talking about this level 2 charger, you don't need to have any kind of license. You just purchase a level 2 charger, you install in your capacity, and you can start earning money. And government provide subsidy also. So in my next PPT, I will like to have a discussion about this entrepreneurship activity about the D license process. And it is supported by every vehicle in terms of AC charging. Now the last is the fast DC charging. Normally if you're talking about these AC charger, it take around 8 hours. And I went to some place, and maximum 40 kilometer you can go. Let me say maximum 40 kilometer you can go using your electric vehicle. And after 40 kilometer, you need to recharge your car. So what government has implemented, if you are having more than 100 parking, whether you are talking about your school, your college, your office, your mall, or anywhere, if you are having more than 100 vehicle parking, you need to have such kind of chargers. You need to have such kind of charging station. So it means if I go to my office, and my office is around 40 kilometer, so I will go to my college, I go to my office, I will park my car, and I will again charge my car. And it takes around 7 to 8 hours. So I hope this is the time when my car will be charged. So this is all about the DC charger. Sorry, this is all about the AC charger. As far as concerned about the DC charger, it takes around 2 to 3 hours to do fast charging. It is still the fastest charging solution in the EV market. DC chargers are found at a dedicated EV charging station and charge the battery up to 80% of range. Frankly speaking, while you are talking about your mobile phones, as soon as their charging is below 20%, it gives you a red signal that yes, now your charging is below 20%. While you are talking about the lithium ion battery, or while you are talking about any mobile phone, while you are talking about any electric vehicle, a very simple meaning is, if your charging is below 20%, it will give you a red signal in terms of mobile. But as far as concerned about the cars, if you are saying it's below 20%, then it will not be functioning. Frankly speaking, your car charge from 20% to, let me say, 90%. It never charge your car from 90% to 100%. At the same time, that 20% is always available in your battery. The whole thing is the government has created some sort of norms, and if you want to utilize that particular 20%, you have to send a signal to your the person from where you have purchased the car, and they will give you a code, and then you can use that 20% if you are stuck somewhere. So you know that 20% is always there in your electric vehicle. Now, you know, level 3 DC fast charging, while you're talking about the DC charger stations, so they are employing these DC fast charging, and they charge around 2 hours to 3 hours any kind of vehicle. You know, and for DC fast charging, we are having different technologies that is called CCC, CCS, combined charging system. One is the CHAdeMO, that is called Charge Gmore, and one is GBT, that is Guavo Standard GBT. You know, frankly, while you are charging your electric vehicle, there may be some sort of communication between the nozzle with which you will charge as well as your electric vehicle. So you know there must be some sort of communication so that they will charge, the nozzle will charge, or the charger will charge the electric vehicle. So there must be some sort of communication, and these are some such a communication protocol. Uh, depending upon the country, they are used. For example, if you're talking about the AC current type, then Japan is using type 1, the America is using type 1, but as concerned about Europe and rest of the world, they are using type 2, and the China, it is using GBT. So that is all about the AC. And while you're talking about the fast charger or DC charger, the Japan is using CHAdeMO. The America is using CCS1. The Europe and the rest of the world is using CCS2. And as far as concerned about the China, it is using GBT. So you know, actually, earlier, if you're talking about the electric vehicle, the China is a pioneer in electric vehicle. The Japan has started working in electric vehicle. Now Europe and America is coming into the picture, and there are hell lot of research going on in Europe and America. And but you know, the whole thing is, as I mentioned earlier, the charger is one of the most important criteria, and the different countries are looking forward to create a monopoly, and that's why they are coming up with the different kind of communication, all the charging protocols. So this CCS, this CHAdeMO, this GBT is all about the particular country they are coming up. But still, a lot of work is going on to have a uniform charging means. Now, this is a small comparison. AC level 1, AC level 2, or the DC fast charging. In AC level 1, the voltage limit is 120 volt, and this is a single phase AC. While AC level 2, this is a voltage 208 volt to 240 volt. It is again a single phase AC. But while you are talking about DC fast charging, it is 208 volt to 480 volt. It is three phase AC. As far as concerned about the current rating, AC level 1 may 12 to 16 ampere, in AC level 2 12 to 80 ampere. Typically, you know, you will get around 32 amperes, but while you're talking about the DC fast charger, you will get less than 125 amperes, or typically you will get 60 amperes. In any norms, you are not allowed to provide current more than 125 amperes in any circuit. As far as concerned about the charging load, you are giving 1.4 kilowatt to 1.9 kilowatt in AC level 1. While you're talking about the AC level 2, you know, charging load is typically 7 kilowatt. And while you're talking about the DC fast charger, it is typically around 50 kilowatt or maybe less than 90 kilowatt. Now, this charging time is the most crucial thing these days. You know, rather than in terms of hours, total hours, we have mentioned 3 to 5 miles of range per hour. So technically, if you're talking about 8 hours in which your car or your battery is supposed to be fully charged, you will like to run your car by 8 into 5 means 40 miles. Okay, so maximum your car can go by 40 miles uh, within a span of 8 hours charging. If you're talking about the AC level 2, you can go by 10 to 20 miles of range per hour. So again, maximum if you're talking about 8 hours charging, you may go by maximum 160 miles, even though that is not a correct configuration. Around is 120 miles of range. But while you are talking about the DC fast charging, charge time for vehicle, it is 80% change in 20 to 30 minutes. It is 80% charge in 20 to 30 minutes. And as I mentioned earlier, you have to charge your battery by 80% only, because the rest 20% is always available in your battery. So while you are talking about my battery is absolutely drained out, it a very simple meaning is still 20% is left in your battery, and you can use that battery in emergency only. Rest 80% can be charged within 20 to 30 minutes by using DC fast charging. Now, this is one of the most wonderful concept of battery swapping station. Battery swapping station is a place at which the vehicle discharge battery or battery pack can be immediately swapped for a fully charged one, eliminating the delay involved in waiting for the vehicle's battery to charge. Frankly speaking, we just mentioned you need to have 20 to 30-minute waiting time for any, you were having DC fast charging, and you were having 80% charge in 20 to 30 minutes. But what about when we are having number of cars already in the queue and they need to get recharged? So it obviously it will take more time. So the best possible solution that has come up is a battery swapping station, where already the charge batteries are available. You just go there, you just show your battery configuration, they will change the battery and go on. And the whole idea is you have to swap your battery, and it will take around 3 to 5 minutes. And right now Mahindra has come up with the latest technology which takes around 30 seconds to swap your battery. So it is a great boon as far as concerned about the electric vehicle charging stations. you know uh, while you're talking about a scooter, and it is having a battery, it is around 3 to 8 kilogram. But while you are talking about a car, it is having around 24 kilogram to 60 kilogram, and that is not possible to lift the battery. But while you are talking about a truck or a bus, they are having around 100 kilogram weight. So that is not possible to lift the battery by some human being. So special cranes are also used at battery swapping stations. Now I will like to show you a small video. Just go through this video. It will show you emissions from electric as well as petrol vehicles.
Sir, I think the audio is not audible, sir. Can you please narrate it, sir, if possible? Hello? Hello? Ankit, sir? Hello? Hello, Ankit sir. Hello, Ankit sir, you are not audible, sir. Hello, Ankit sir.
Ankit, sir.
Hello, Ankit sir, you are not audible, sir. Hello. Hello, Ankit sir. Hello.
Sir, please call him, sir. Call him over phone, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Screen
sir. Yes,
visible,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. So we were having a comparison between IC vehicle and the electric vehicle. So while you were talking about the fuel, conventional vehicle burn petrol, diesel, or CNG in an internal combustion engine, and they are available pan India. So while I am driving my car and I need to go from Ghaziabad to, let me say, Hyderabad, there are different petrol pump or diesel stations available, and I can fill up the petrol and I can run my car. But as far as concerned about while you are saying battery powered electric vehicle, they don't have engines. Instead, they use energy stored in batteries to power electric motors. And frankly speaking, these days the charging stations are not available across the country. So that is a big problem. And as far as concerned about you are saying 15 ampere socket is available pan India. Yes, that is available in India. But at the same time, if you see, that will take around 8 hours to charge your car. And how much you will charge? How much your car can run? Maybe 40 kilometer or maybe 80 kilometer maximum. So if I need to go from Ghaziabad to Hyderabad, it will take around 5 to 7 days to reach over there using my electric vehicle. So the whole idea is government has given a lot of subsidies to vehicle charging station, and still a lot of work is going on in this particular direction. Now this is a beautiful comparison. I earlier discussed about the cost. Now let me discuss about the cost. Uh, Cheaper as compared to electric vehicle. While you're talking about the IC vehicles, they are cheaper. They are having a starting price of, let me say, 4 lakhs. But while you are saying electric vehicle, they are having a starting price of say 9,50,000. So almost double the amount of money. But IC vehicles have a minimum cost per kilometer around 4 rupees per kilometer. At least in my uh, space, while you are saying I need to go somewhere, I am using petrol version car, so I need to spend 4 rupees per kilometer, maybe more than that. But while you are talking about the electric vehicle, they have a minimum cost per kilometer around 1 rupees. or a lot of research is going on in this particular direction, and who knows that this price may reduce in the future. Hazardous emission of particular particulate matters NVH ratio makes the life of the vehicle max up to 15 years. Government is having a kind of concern that more than 15 years, no diesel or petrol vehicle should work. But at the same time, if we're talking about the electric vehicle, less damage to the environment because they produce fewer emissions. So there's a great achievement in electric vehicle. Their maintenance cost is quite high while you were talking about the IC engines, but while you were saying electric vehicle, their maintenance cost is quite low with compared to IC combustion engine. And the last and the most important point these days for any electrical engineer is digital integration is a challenge as the moving part are more compared to electric vehicle. But while you are saying electric vehicles, there is no IC engine, there is and other accessories. So digital integration is very much feasible. Okay. So future is the key, and we are talking about the driverless car, and I hope the driverless car will be available in next 2030, maybe in next 20 years. Few driverless cars are also available in the market these days. The benefit of electric vehicle. The best part is the technology, which is more simple in terms of use, which have birth to driverless cars. Yeah, it will happen certainly. Data can be captured and used for further development. These days, everybody is talking about the data analytics. Everybody is talking about the IoT. Everybody is talking about the cloud computing, and this data is one of the most important key these days. While you are talking about the electric vehicle, you are talking about the smart grid or any kind of latest technology, the data is the next oil. So the data can be captured and used for further development. For example, just a example, uh, you know all the data is shared as well as stored in the Google Drive. Like you say, all the data has been shared and saved uh, in the cloud. So and this data has to be analyzed by some means. So if I'm having a frequency that I'm usually going to my office by 8 a.m. and I will reach the charging station by 8:30 a.m. So that is the kind of data which can be used by the charging station, that me as a customer I will be approaching at around 8:30. So this data is very important because there are a hell lot of queue available around the charging stations. So this data can be useful. At the same time, while you are talking about that I need to go to my office and I will be following a particular path. So again, there is a data that I will be following a particular path, and you never know. In future, we will be having a driverless car. We will just ask to take me to my office from a particular path, and GPS system is available, and the car will be moving without any direction. So this data is very important. Uh, Renewable energy is playing a vital role. Running cost, of course, we discussed about the running cost is very low. Acceptance of new is something which is accepted by the society. So this acceptance of new, new means industry is always giving you something new in the market. So this acceptance is acceptable, and a lot of money has been invested by every government in the world. Mass production is making the cost more viable, and electricity availability in every house. Okay, so these are the benefits of electric vehicle, but the challenges, and the biggest challenge is the charging infrastructure. Still, a lot of government are talking about to develop the charging infrastructure. This is not just the policy of the central government. A lot of state governments are involved in this, and a lot of state government have proposed their the policy to develop the charging stations. Recently in New Delhi, there was a bid for the 313 electric vehicle charging stations. You just can't build a charging station anywhere or everywhere because electric vehicles are not available in the market. So whom you will charge? So the whole idea is electric in Delhi. We are having number of electric vehicles. We are having Ola. We are having Uber, which are functioning very well, and 90% of their electric vehicles are now using electric vehicle. So there's a big catch. Ola and Uber, both of them are having their own charging station from where their vehicle get charged. But still, it is all about the location, and sometimes it happens your driver is in such a location that uh, Ola's charging station or Uber's charging station is not available. So still a lot of business opportunities are available for the charging station. Uh, you know, yes, it is high in cost, but as we are saying, if a mass production will be there, the cost will certainly be reduced. Low in demand right now, it is low in demand. Mm, but yes, a lot of government initiative have been coming up, and let me see. Sometimes it happens you have to do the things by force. So I hope the government will apply some sort of policy uh, for this particular electric vehicle also. Development and innovation rate is low. To some extent, yes, you can say COVID has come and innovations are not that much good as we were doing 3 months back. But yes, still a lot of innovations are going on. Tesla is the pioneer who are doing a lot of innovation and development in this particular direction. Availability of lithium ion, a lot of people these days are talking about that COVID has been developed by the China. But frankly speaking, China is a market where from you are getting the lithium ion batteries these days. So China is a very big player in the electric vehicle. But availability of lithium ion is pretty much with the China only. So yes, there is a challenge. And fossil fuel used to generate electricity. Being an electrical engineer, I always talk about that. You are using electricity, but the fossil fuels are actually generating electricity. So ultimately you are using coals, you are using hydroelectric power plants to generate electricity, and in turn this electricity has to go with your battery. Now, these are some little EV terminologies. I don't think we all are academicians, and I don't find these kind of terminology will be very important. So I'm just going to skip all these sort of terminologies. So this was my first presentation. If you have any kind of question, please ask. The summary of the lecture is what is electric vehicle and its working and features and component and concept of electric vehicles. So thank you very much. For questions, please ask in the chat box. Rajesh sir, I am done with this PPT. I am having another PPT also.
Yes, sir. You may go ahead with that, sir. We'll take the
Oh,
questions at the
okay.
last, sir.
Okay.
You can
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
all the questions
sure.
at the last, sir, after the second presentation.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
My voice is audible.
It's audible, sir. We are able
My
to see the
PPT is,
presentation. Yes,
yeah,
sir. It's
yeah,
visible,
sure.
sir.
Okay. So friends, my next PPT is all about electric vehicle and public charging stations. As we discussed earlier, that if you are not having charging stations in your vicinity, then there is no point to purchase an electric vehicle, which is almost double the cost. So a lot of development has been made by Indian government, a lot of initiative has been taken up by the government, a lot of policies are going on by the state government as well as the central government. And let me see the state of electric vehicle. While passenger cars typically get all the credit for the electric vehicle revolution, it is good to consider the other form of transportation also that are gradually become greener. So, earlier we were just talking about the cars. Now we are talking about the carts. We are talking about the bikes. We are talking about the two-wheelers, and we are talking about the bus and trucks also. So there are a lot of meaning by which we are talking about the electric vehicles. For example, as of 2018, it is just a little old data. By 2018, China has been home to 5 million low-speed electric vehicles. Right now, in 2020, the data is around 9 million low-speed electric vehicles. Two-wheeler market growth is 80% YOY. Means if you're talking about year over year, so the two-wheeler market growth is 84%. It is huge market. Being an electrical engineer these days, I personally feel there is no demand of electrical engineering while you are talking about the engineering colleges. A lot of admissions are going to computer science and IT domain. But this electric vehicle is going to change the market, and students will be there if we can tell them that electric vehicle is one of the most prominent market in the coming future. So yes, there will be a great demand of electrical engineers. Now, the state of electric vehicle charging. At the end of 2018, there were approximately 5.2 million chargers. We are talking about now the chargers. There were approximately 5.2 million chargers for light duty electric vehicle, of which closer to 540,000 were public charging station. Basically, these are not in India actually. Chiefly, they are in Europe, in Japan, and mostly in China. In other words, private home and workplace charging with the type 1 and type 2 slow chargers continue to be preferred mode of charging for the general public. Technically, while you are talking about the 5.2 million chargers, it means you are talking about the chargers which come up with a two-wheeler. Means you are having a 15 ampere socket, and you can have a charger and you can charge your two-wheeler. So that is also included in this particular segment. The second is fast chargers, on the other hand, are slowly increasing in popularity. In 2018, there were about 3 lakh fast chargers in the world, 80% of which are, of course, in China, in Europe, and the United States. A large majority of public accessible chargers that were installed in 2018 were slow chargers. You know, the electric vehicle and the electric vehicle charging stations and these technology are absolutely new to the market, not even in India, even abroad also. So but now the momentum has taken up in this particular direction. However, the situation is likely to change soon, as several projects focus on ultra fast charging have already been announced in Europe itself. Now, see, just to try to check this particular figure, slow charger and fast charger. Earlier, there were only slow chargers, but now the momentum has taken up by the fast chargers also. The green actually shows the fast charger, and the orange shows the light chargers. Now, let me discuss about the development of electric vehicle and the charging technology. Another interesting perspective related to the development of new electric vehicle parts and charging technologies are uh, the first one is change in battery chemistry. You are talking about the lithium ion segment, and there is a chemistry behind that, and a lot of innovations, a lot of chemical engineers, a lot of people from different background are working in that chemistry also. So there is a innovation. There is an innovation that. Second is changes in energy density. Energy density is all about the compactness of a particular battery. For example, if you are having some sort of size of a battery, and it can produce a large amount of charge density, that will be beneficial for the electric vehicle, because obviously the size of the vehicle will be low or the small. The last and the important is change in the size of battery pack. Of course, while you are talking about the energy density, which is one criteria, at the same time the size of battery pack is another criteria. So a lot of developments are going on in this particular direction. A lot of research is going on. Now, Amazon, right now Amazon is working just a e-commerce platform, but we are having a lot of people who are working uh, to provide the goods from door to door for the Amazon delivery. Right now, Amazon is coming up with their own delivery segment, and Amazon to add 10,000 electric vehicles into its delivery fleet by 2025. Now the data has been little extended, and they will be able to come up with 2028. But still, they are going to add up 10,000 electric vehicle, and Amazon will have its electric fleet operating in 20 cities across the country, including Delhi, NCR, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. Yes, of course, in your city also, Hyderabad, within the year. As I mentioned, that 313 electric vehicle charging stations needed to be developed by Delhi government. Out of those, 70 charging stations have been purchased by Amazon only. All petrol stations in Germany will be required to provide electric vehicle charging. Guys, frankly speaking, this particular PPT and this particular line were about a week ago. And latest news is Germany has imposed that all the petrol and diesel stations are required to provide electric vehicle charging station now onwards. So you can imagine while you're talking about a country, Germany, where there are a lot of diesel and petrol stations, and now you will be getting your electric charging stations also from the same property. Now there is a concern, electric vehicle charging station market. There is a huge market in front of us. Whether you're talking about electric vehicle charging station, the electric vehicle charging station market is a highly concentrated market, which include key players and the local players also. Delta is a company in India which has given a lot of charging stations uh, in India only. The market has witnessed increased various strategic development owing to favorable market scenario. Government has come up with a lot of initiatives. The market has a prominent growth in upcoming years due to increasing demand for electric vehicles. Lot of incentives have been given, lot of subsidies have been given by the government for electric vehicle and increasing environmental concerns. Now, we all are academicians, and a lot of academicians are working into this particular technology, which is called a vehicle to grid technology. While you are having your electric vehicle, you have completely charged your electric vehicle, and you take all the vehicles to your society or to your, let me say, college premises, or let me say, the company premises, and all the electric vehicles are charged, and now you can provide charge back to the grid. So that is called vehicle to grid technology. And you never know, it is if you are having 1,000 electric vehicles in your parking, and you are going to provide the charging to the grid, it is a big market and a big opportunity. Forecast electric vehicle market outlook by 2030. Few time back, principal madam discussed about the 2030 market. Now when it comes to the future, according to EV market outlook 2019, there are two possible scenarios. The first one, and the beautiful one, is the new policy scenario which suggests that global EV sale will reach 23 million by 2030. There is a huge opportunity. The second is, and the more ambitious is scenario, which is known as EV30 at rate 30, which means it predicts 30% of all vehicles except two-wheelers will be electric by 2030, at least in India. So in absolute terms, if you're talking about the global sales would reach 43 million, and therefore almost double the prediction of the new policy scenario. So there is a great prediction, and a large market is available for electrical engineers. Now, earlier I discussed about the entrepreneurship opportunities, and Indian government has came up with FAME 1, and now FAME 2 has also been introduced by Indian government under the National Mission on Electric Mobility, that is called NMEM. We are having few FAME schemes. Uh, so let me discuss about few FAME schemes. I think the slide is little small, so I just uh,
It's
you know
fine, sir. It is visible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So with the objective to support hybrid electric vehicle market development and manufacturing ecosystem in 2013, actually in India, it has been started. So frankly speaking, if you are talking about in Indian market, we are been almost 7 years in Indian market. So if you say 7 years is a long time, but frankly speaking, 7 years is a very small little time. In my earlier slide, I mentioned that in 1884 the electric vehicle was started. So still in India, it is absolutely new term. And electric vehicle mission, the government of India has launched the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020 in 2013. It aims to achieve national fuel security by promoting hybrid and electric vehicle in the country. You know, Still, my feedback is you just can't run an vehicle only as an electric vehicle. Still, there's a paradigm shift, and you need to run any vehicle like a hybrid vehicle. Means you can use the solar with the electric. You can use uh, the any kind of diesel or petrol engine with electric, but some sort of hybridization should be there. Then only you can sustain in the market. So hybrid electric vehicles must be available in the market. There is an ambitious target to achieve 6 to 7 million sales of hybrid and electric year on year YOY from 2020 onwards. Frankly speaking, while we are saying 6 to 7 millions, it is a very ambitious plan. Frankly speaking, in India, right now we are not having too much sale of electric cars, but rather than we are having a sale of electric cart, we are having sales of electric rickshaw. And while you are saying 6 to 7 million sales, those electric rickshaws are available in the market. They have reached from almost all the villages. So yes, while we are talking about 6 to 7 million sales, yes, that e-rickshaw is a major component. The two-wheelers are major component into the sales, and hence we are saying that 6 to 7 million sales of hybrid electric vehicle year YOY we will achieve by 2020. Now let me discuss about the FAME first. FAME India scheme, faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid electric vehicle in India for implementation with effect from 1st April 2015. So this was the first policy given by the government of India, and now FAME 2 has also come up into the picture. Uh, just for your kind information, if you are interested about to develop your own electric vehicle charging station, so you need to spend around 29 lakh rupees to develop an electric vehicle charging station. But out of that, 22 lakh has been given in the form of subsidy to you. So technically, the investment lies around 7 lakh to 9 lakh within a span of 4 to 5 years. Now, while you are saying those 20 lakh, how you will get the subsidy? Out of that, 20% subsidy is given in the beginning itself. Rest 40% subsidy is given when you will be having your charging station. Some person will from the government will come and visit your charging station. They will check exactly there are few norms, you have satisfied all the norms, and they will sign some papers. You have to submit those papers in the ministry, and again the 40% subsidy will be given to you, and the rest 40% subsidy has been given after a year. Again the same process, the some person from a government will come and they will visit your charging station. The key is, it may be possible that you are not generating too much electricity, you are not providing the business at large. But as far as concerned about, you have taken a risk of 7 to 9 lakh or maybe more than that, because you need to have some person who will fill the tanks. You need to have some person who will clean the electric vehicle charging station. So some sort of monthly amount is also to be incurred in that direction. So, the FAME 2 policies also approached have been approved with an outlay of rupees 10,000 crore for a period of 3 years commencing from April 2019. Frankly speaking, guys, it will take some time because COVID has come into the picture, and still uh, lot of advancement has to be taken care of. The files are still with the ministry. Ministry has to be taken care of the decision whether they are going to implement FAME 2 in all the way, in all the manners. But there are few good news. For example, if you purchase any electric vehicle, so in a normal IC engine vehicle, you need to do some sort of registration amount. That registration amount has been waived off if you are purchasing an electric vehicle. At the same time, apart from this registration amount, for first 3 years, for the first 3 years, all the maintenance has been beared by the electric vehicle manufacturer. Last and the most important, while you are purchasing any electric vehicle, you need not to worry about the medical insurance, because all the medical insurance has to be bear by the manufacturer or the government itself. So there are some incentives and some policies driven by the government, but still, as far as concerned about electric vehicle charging infrastructure, it will take some time. The approval for PMP program is still into the picture. Uh, and mobility for battery storage by the Union Cabinet in March 2019 was a step in the right direction, but still a lot of work has to be taken care of in this direction, because yes, Corona has impacted hell a lot the direction of electric vehicle in India itself. A lot of money has to be invested by the Indian government. A lot of subsidy has to be given by the Indian government, and still now the government is thinking about all these sort of things also. Yes, it says 1 lakh new jobs, 70 new manufacturing facilities. Practically, if you're talking about these 70 new manufacturing facilities are uh, in the broad spectrum. If you're talking about the MSME sector, we are having around more than 1,000 manufacturing facilities in the MSME sector. If you're talking about 1 lakh job, no, maybe 2,30,000 jobs will be available in the next 2 to 3 years in this electric vehicle market. So yes, it is having a great potential. Yes, of course. Currently, there is a limited domestic manufacturing of EVs and EV system. Technically, they are very much related to e-rickshaws, e-cart only. But future is the key. Uh, yes, everybody is talking about Make in India objective. To drive the initial growth of manufacturing, tax initiate incentives, as I discussed earlier, incentives have been given up. Land grant has been given up. You just can't start your own electric vehicle charging station anywhere in the market, because while you are having a charging station, you should be having the vehicles whom to be charged. So everywhere in India, we are developing the charging stations in strategic locations. For example, if you're talking about NCR region, you're talking about the Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, not in Ghaziabad, in Gurgaon. So we are having some very strategic locations where the charging stations have been developed. A 3 to 4 year phased custom duty rationalization designed for components across all vehicle segments and battery components to incentivize localization. Technically, if you are having an electric vehicle, that is perfectly okay, but there are a lot of components of electric vehicle, and while you are having any problem in your vehicle, you need to purchase these kind of components, which are very expensive in the market. So a lot of incentives have been given up in that particular direction also. Grand challenge among states to set up gigafactories for battery vehicle in India. Technically, as I mentioned earlier, no battery manufacturing is done in India. So government is having next setup to develop their factories who can manufacture the batteries in India only. But frankly speaking, the lithium ion is not available in India. So ultimately, you will be having a manufacturing system in India. Ultimately, you have to import the lithium from China only. So there is a key. Anyway, this is a common battery electric passenger vehicle sales from you can see China is a pioneer, then USA, then France, Japan, Germany, and still India is underdeveloped country. But frankly speaking, if India is underdeveloped, it is having a big market. A lot of initiative has been taken by the industry in this direction. Ola Mobility has been launched. A lot of research institutions has been developed in India by Indian government only, who are giving their BTech, MTech, and PhD in electrical vehicle technology also. A lot of OEMs and the dealers are collaborating to increase the customer awareness and access to electric vehicle variety. I will congratulate BGIT Institute to organize this particular program to develop to create awareness about the electric vehicle. And there are few companies at a glance. Just let me see. If you're talking about the electric vehicle automobile manufacturing, Hyundai, Mahindra, Porsche, Tata, MG Hector, and BYD, a lot of companies are manufacturing. If you're talking about the card system, Hero Motors, Ampere is new into the market, but it is rising hell a lot. Kinetic, Mahindra, Revolt motorcycles, 8 companies are in 4 vehicles. 132 companies are in 2 vehicles, and 4 companies in bus system. But this is just a vague data. A lot of companies are available in the market, and a lot of new companies are coming up in the Indian market scenario. Charging station, we already discussed it. Delta is the key. Every government, whether you are talking about the central government or the state government, are having some sort of tie-up with the Delta, and Delta is a pioneer in India right now to develop the charging stations. So whether you are so if you are going through in Delhi, of course, we are having a tie-up with the Delta company only. So Mastech, Exicom, Magneta, Magenta, Panasonic, ABB. ABB has recently come up with a lot of potential in terms of charging station. Acme, that is a Japanese company, and E2O. These are the latest player in the market. So but right now Delta is a pioneer which is working in charging stations. And now something about our fraternity means we are talking about the research and development. So design and architecture of electric vehicle, that is a new field, and a lot of electrical engineers as well as mechanical engineers are working in this direction. The designing is the key. The second is the battery management system. We have already seen that there is a battery pack, and there is a battery management system. It must not be heated. It has to properly work. A lot of control mechanisms, control techniques has to be implemented. Uh, lot of advancement is going on in this direction. Charging management system is different, and the battery management system is different. And charging management system is something like you have to have a nozzle through a charging infrastructure, which will communicate with some protocol with your vehicle. So these are the communication protocol in which lot of work is going on. I discuss about uh, the DC fast charging. So if you're talking about the DC fast charging, the CCS and the CHAdeMO are working at the same time. Tesla has come up with a supercharger. Uh, that is absolutely new technology. But while you're talking about the China, which is coming up with GBT technology only. So if you're saying CHAdeMO, which is used by Nissan, Mitsubishi, and Kia companies, if you are saying CCS system, it has been used by BMW, General Motors, Volkswagen, and a few other car makers. It also depends upon the car manufacturer. It also depends upon the countries. A lot of advancement are going on. Artificial intelligence. Everybody is talking about artificial intelligence these days. Every IT or CS student and faculties are looking forward to work in this particular direction of artificial intelligence. But you're talking about the fuzzy logic, you're talking about the neural network, and now you're talking about the artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is not limited to any IT branch. It is related to with all, with the electrical, with mechanical, with anybody who is interested about this particular technology. Digital integration, we were talking about the IoT, we are talking about the digital integration, and later on you will be having the driverless cars also. Power electronic is the key these days. Lot of advancement is going on into this particular direction. And yes, lastly is the advanced electronics. Implementation of electric vehicle, design and solve problems in daily commute by the means of electric vehicle by innovation and technology. Personally, I feel being a academician, it is my moral responsibility to teach my students to make them aware regarding electric vehicle technology, because being an electrical engineer, there is only market. Frankly speaking, there is only market available for the span of, let me say, 10 to 15 years future, where electric vehicle technology will be a key in the market. So I personally feel we should be having a lot of webinars in electric vehicle. Lot of student has to work in the direction of electric vehicle, and a lot of research must be going on in this particular direction. Charging stations are also part of electric vehicles, so solving the issues of fast charging by implementation of battery swapping stations for two vehicle, three vehicle, or four vehicle truck and buses. There's another key that you need to have electric vehicle charging station. And right now the people are talking about grid to vehicle and vehicle to grid technology. So there is a key. Also, lot of research is going on about the grid management system, because let me say, if all the vehicles are electric vehicle, and all the vehicles are getting charged, so there will be an impact on the grid system, and the frequency can be deviate. So you should also study about the impact of electric vehicle, both we are saying vehicle to grid as well as grid to vehicle upon the grid management system also. Now, business opportunities, that is the key which our student has to understand. A lot of opportunities are available in electric vehicle. Manufacturing of electric vehicle, yes, a lot of e-rickshaws are manufacturing these days in India. uh, Sale of electric vehicles. Personally, I feel if I can speak something about electric vehicle, I can be a good salesman. And while you are talking about the sales, it is a very big market, because a lot of manufacturing is been happening at Europe and China. So yes, sales is a key in the Indian market scenario. Uh, Next is research and development. I discuss about there are a lot of opportunities in research and development. Design support, lot of design things are going on in the market. So yes, design is a great opportunity. IoT and AI support, as I discussed throughout my presentation, IoT is a big key. And while you are talking about the on-board charger, which is giving now 36 pin or 42 pin, so in future IoT will be having a key to be developed with a electric vehicle. At the same time, driverless cars are the future, and AI will play a very important and significant role in opportunities of electric vehicle. Software and sensor support cloud. Cloud. We are always talking about the cloud technology. We are talking about the data management. We are talking about the data analytics, and these the sensors are required to communicate between different IoT platform. At the same time, different softwares are required. Battery pack manufacturing. Right now we were discussing about the BMS, battery management system, but now we are seeing the battery pack manufacturing is also a very important aspect in electric vehicle. And frankly speaking, always there are two kind of market. One is called the local market and one is called the global market. So while you are saying the local market, the battery pack manufacturing is available in the local market, and it is a very big feature. Import and export, yes, of course, it is a big target, and a great opportunity lies in electric vehicle. Charging station manufacturing, as I already discussed, government is coming up with a lot of initiative, and charging station manufacturing. Manufacturing is another key. You are going to establish your own charging infrastructure. That is altogether different. But if you are talking about the charging station manufacturing, that is a different key. Installation of charging station, yes, I discussed earlier. Lot of manpower is required. Lot of skilled manpower is required for charging station installation. And already in India there are several institutes which are providing some sort of training in installation of charging stations. Sales of charging station, yes, it is another key. I told you in frame 2, government has come up with a very very beautiful scenario that if you are having more than 100 parking in your school, in your college, in your office, in any kind of market, then you have to have a charging station, electric vehicle charging station, because there may be 2 to 5 chargers. So sales of this charging station will be equally important. Software support, software installation, software manufacturing is a different thing, but software support is another key. App support, a lot of things are going through now apps. So app support is also an opportunity. CMS software, charging management system, their support and their software is required. Battery management system, their software and their hardware are required. Lot of young entrepreneurs are coming up in this particular CMS and BMS software and hardware support system. Thank you very much. Before I finish my presentation, I will like to request all the academicians to ask their student to go and attend some sort of electric vehicle training. This is the time when online lot of trainings are available. Please request them. Please ask them to go for electric vehicle training so that there will be the products available in the market which will drive the scenario. Being an academician, my responsibility is to drive the scenario. I hope there's a big market available in the future. Yes, now I am done. If you want to ask, you can ask any question.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I thank you
Yeah.
on behalf of Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Vidya Jyoti Institute of Technology, for accepting our request at a very short notice. Thank you very much, sir. And before we conclude, sir, can I ask some participants to have an online questionnaire, sir, or will you go through the chat, sir?
Yeah, we can go through the chat.
Okay. Okay. I'll just read the questions for you. So there's a question saying that how to increase electric vehicles battery capacity without increasing vehicles battery space.
So a lot of
Am I
research
audible,
is
sir?
going on into. Yeah, you are audible. This is a very beautiful question. Thank you very much, whoever asked this question. Right now, we are working in a lithium-ion battery, but for your kind information, there are fuel cells in which a lot of research is going on, and now hydrogen batteries are also coming up into the market, which are compact in size, but which are very powerful. The only thing is, while you are talking about the hydrogen battery, there is a key. The whole thing is they are compact in size, but at the same time there is a control mechanism, because hydrogen fission and fusion may occur, and you have to control that particular technology. So still a lot of work is going on into this particular technology. Let me say around 5 to 10 years, hydrogen batteries will be available in the market. They are compact in size as well as shape.
Okay, sir. The same participant, Ms. Tejaswini, she has another question, which says that Ertigo's app scooter is said to have a range of 240 kilometers for one full charge. For one full charge, it goes
Right.
240 kilometers. Indian EV scooters have range maximum of 90 kilometers only. Why so much difference?
Right.
In India, maybe, yeah.
Sir, there are two mechanisms if you are talking about the technology. First is the battery capacity, but second is the charging capacity. If you have gone through my presentation, at one point I mentioned that there is a charge density. So the density means